The Force binds all things across the galaxy, connecting every living being in an invisible web of energy and destiny. For thousands of generations, the Jedi believed nothing existed beyond its reach. The Sith knew the Force touched every corner of reality. Both were wrong. On a forgotten moon in the Outer Rim, something fell from the void between dimensions, something with power that answered to no ancient energy field, no mystical binding force, something that would make emperors tremble and legends feel inadequate. The sky above Lothal's northern wastes tore open like fabric ripped by invisible hands. No hyperspace signature, no sublight engines. Just a raw, dimensional wound bleeding colors that shouldn't exist. Colors that made nearby Imperial sensors scream warnings before shorting out completely. Through that impossible tear, a figure plummeted, arms spread, orange GI rippling, black hair defying gravity's pull. Son Goku, Earth's greatest defender, crashed into the Star Wars galaxy at terminal velocity, cratering into purple grasslands with enough force to register on seismographs 300 kilometers away. He stood from the crater, rubbing the back of his head with a sheepish grin that no one was around to see. Whoa, that was rough. Whis is gonna be so mad I broke reality again. He looked up at the closing dimensional rift, then at his surroundings. Twin suns hanging in an alien sky, strange rock formations jutting from plains that stretched to distant mountains, and in the distance, smoke rising from what looked like a city. His Saiyan instincts kicked in immediately, sensing energy signatures unlike anything he'd felt before. Not ki, but something else, something cold and calculating in one direction, desperate and afraid in another. Guess I'm not on Earth anymore, Goku muttered, placing 2 fingers to his forehead for instant transmission. Nothing happened. He frowned, trying again. Still nothing. Can't lock onto anyone's energy. It's all different here. He shrugged with characteristic optimism. Well, guess I'm doing this the old-fashioned way. He kicked off the ground, and the crater exploded outward from the shockwave. Goku rocketed toward the distant city at speeds that turned him into a golden blur across the landscape, leaving a sonic boom trail in his wake. Within seconds, he covered the 100-kilometer distance, slowing as he approached what revealed itself to be Capital City, a sprawling metropolis of gleaming towers, landing platforms bustling with strange ships. And in the streets below, armored soldiers in white pointing weapons at citizens. Stormtroopers. Goku didn't know that term yet, but he recognized oppression when he saw it. "You're in violation of Imperial curfew," a stormtrooper captain barked at a Twi'lek family huddled against a wall. "Sector J7 is restricted by order of Governor Price. Please, our daughter needs medicine from the district clinic," the father began. The stormtrooper raised his blaster rifle. "Curfew violators will be detained or eliminated." Goku landed between them so fast that the displacement of air sent the stormtroopers stumbling backward. He didn't understand the language yet. His body was still adjusting to this dimension, but tone and body language transcended universes. He'd seen Frieza's soldiers do the same thing to Namekian families. His expression hardened. "Hey," Goku said quietly, his voice carrying an edge that made the lead stormtrooper's finger freeze on the trigger. "Leave them alone. Unidentified civilian. Hands in the air. You are in violation of..." The stormtrooper never finished. 12 blaster bolts screamed toward Goku from multiple angles, red energy lances designed to punch through duraplast armor and vaporize flesh. Goku didn't dodge. The bolts struck his GI, his arms, his chest, and dissipated like water against stone. Smoke curled from the impact points on his clothing, but the skin beneath remained unmarked. The stormtroopers stared, their training failing to provide protocols for this situation. Those actually stung a little, Goku admitted, looking down at the scorch marks. "You guys have some decent toys, but if you're gonna pick a fight..." His eyes locked onto the captain. You'd better be ready for what comes next." The captain activated his comlink with trembling hands. "Command, we have an unidentified hostile with apparent immunity to blaster fire, requesting immediate—" Goku moved. One moment he stood 15 meters away. The next, he was in front of the captain, finger tapping the stormtrooper's chest plate. The armor crumpled inward like tin foil, and the captain flew backward, crashing through a speeder bike and embedding in a ferrocrete wall. Not dead, Goku had pulled that strike to non-lethal force, but definitely out of the fight. The remaining 11 stormtroopers opened fire simultaneously. Goku weaved between the blaster bolts with casual grace, each movement precise, each dodge effortless. To the stormtroopers, he seemed to teleport between positions. To Goku, they were moving in slow motion. He closed the distance in a blink, striking pressure points with knife hand chops that shut down armor servos and paralyzed nervous systems without permanent damage. Within 5 seconds, the entire squad lay unconscious or groaning on the ground. The Twi'lek family stared in absolute shock. Goku turned to them with his characteristic warm smile. "You folks okay? Get that medicine for your daughter. I'll make sure nobody else bothers you." He didn't understand their stammered thanks, but the gratitude in their eyes was universal. As they fled toward the clinic, Goku heard the scream of engines overhead. He looked up to see 4 Imperial TIE fighters descending, their twin ion engines shrieking, their cockpit windows glowing green as pilots targeted him. "Oh man, now the real fun starts," Goku grinned, dropping into a fighting stance. The TIE fighters opened fire, emerald laser cannons painting the street in lethal light. Goku leaped, twisting through the air as the ground where he'd stood exploded into molten slag. He landed on the side of a building, wall running vertically as laser fire chased him. Then he jumped again, this time toward the nearest TIE fighter, fist cocked back. "Ha!" His punch connected with the fighter's viewport. The reinforced transparasteel, designed to withstand micrometeorite impacts, spiderwebbed, then shattered. The TIE spiraled out of control, pilot ejecting as the craft careened into an empty lot. Goku touched down on a rooftop as the 3 remaining fighters circled, their pilots' voices panicked over Imperial channels. "Target is destroying military assets with bare hands. Request Star Destroyer support. All units, converge on capital city. Unknown hostile is classified as Level Alpha threat." High above Lothal's atmosphere, aboard the Imperial Star Destroyer Relentless, a pale-skinned humanoid with yellow eyes and red geometric tattoos received the transmission. The 7th Sister, an Inquisitor trained in the dark side of the Force, smiled with predatory interest. "A disturbance I cannot sense through the Force," she whispered. "How delightfully impossible." She ignited her double-bladed spinning lightsaber, red plasma casting crimson shadows across her face. "Prepare my TIE advanced. I'm going hunting." In the streets of capital city, Goku cracked his knuckles, sensing more powerful enemies approaching. His cyan blood sang with anticipation. This galaxy had no idea what had just arrived on its doorstep. And neither did he realize that across the stars, in a meditation chamber aboard the Executor, Darth Vader's eyes snapped open behind his mask. Something had entered his galaxy, something the Force could not touch, something that made the dark side itself recoil in confusion. The Dark Lord of the Sith rose from his meditation pod. "Prepare my shuttle. I sense an absence, an impossible void. And it is growing stronger." The 7th Sister's TIE. Advanced screamed through Lothal's atmosphere, leaving a trail of ionized air in its wake. Through her cockpit viewport, she watched capital city grow closer, her connection to the Force reaching out like invisible tendrils seeking prey. But where she expected to feel a presence, even a Force null would create a void she could detect. There was simply nothing. As if the being causing this chaos didn't exist at all. Impossible, she hissed, banking hard toward the coordinates. Everything leaves an imprint on the Force. Everything. Below, Goku had just finished deflecting laser fire from the remaining TIE fighters when he felt it, a presence different from the others, stronger, more focused. He looked up as the sleek TIE Advance descended, and through some instinct he couldn't explain, he knew this opponent was different. This one actually wanted to fight him, not just follow orders. Finally! Someone who feels like they've got some real power. Goku's grin widened as he leaped from the rooftop, meeting the descending craft in mid-air. The seventh sister's eyes widened behind her helmet as the orange-clad warrior simply hovered there, defying gravity without repulsor lifts, without the Force, just floating. She ejected from her TIE before impact, flipping through the air with Force-enhanced grace, landing in a crouch on a building's edge 30 meters away. Her double-bladed lightsaber spun to life, red plasma blades whirling in a defensive pattern. Goku touched down on the opposite rooftop, studying the weapon with fascination. Whoa, that's a pretty cool sword. Is it made of energy? He tilted his head. You're way stronger than those other guys, I can tell. The seventh sister circled slowly, her Inquisitor training analyzing him. No armor except that strange GI. No weapons, no Force presence whatsoever. Yet he destroyed Imperial assets and moved with speed that rivaled her own Force-augmented reflexes. She reached out with the Force, attempting to crush his windpipe telekinetically, a technique that had killed dozens of Jedi survivors. Nothing happened. Goku didn't even flinch. "Did you just try something?" he asked innocently. "I felt like a tickle in the air." The seventh sister's composure cracked. She'd just attempted to kill him with the Force, and he'd described it as a tickle. This wasn't a Force-resistant species. This was something outside the Force entirely. Fear and excitement warred in her chest. The dark side fed on both. "You are an anomaly," she declared, her voice modulated through her mask. "But anomalies can be dissected. Let's see how you handle the Grand Inquisitor's techniques." She launched forward, lightsaber spinning in a deadly arc designed to overwhelm opponents with its unpredictable pattern. The plasma blade came at Goku from 3 angles simultaneously. Upward slash, horizontal cut, downward strike, all in a single flowing movement that had beheaded Jedi Masters. Goku caught the blade between his palms. The lightsaber, a weapon that could cut through durasteel, melt through blast doors, and sever limbs with the lightest touch, stopped dead between his hands. Goku's palms glowed with a thin layer of Kai energy, creating a barrier the lightsaber couldn't penetrate. He studied the humming weapon with childlike curiosity. It's hot, really hot, but not hot enough to hurt. He looked at the seventh sister's shocked expression. "Your turn's over. Now it's mine." He released the blade and tapped her chest with an open palm, a strike he calculated at roughly 0.001% of his actual strength. The seventh sister rocketed backward, crashing through 3 buildings before embedding in the reinforced wall of an Imperial munitions depot. Her lightsaber clattered to the rooftop, deactivated. Goku picked it up, examining the hilt with genuine interest. "How do you turn it on?" He pressed a button. The blade ignited, nearly taking his own head off. "Whoa, okay, that's dangerous." He waved it experimentally, nearly bisecting a comm tower. "This thing has no weight at all. How do you control it?" A massive explosion answered him. The munitions depot, destabilized by the seventh sister's impact, detonated in a fireball that consumed 3 city blocks. Goku's expression shifted instantly from curious to horrified. Through the flames, he could sense life signs, faint, fading, people trapped in the buildings. "No, no, no, no!" He dropped the lightsaber and burst through the explosion, ki aura flaring around him like golden fire. The flames parted from his energy, unable to touch him as he raced through the inferno. His sensory abilities, honed through decades of combat, pinpointed every civilian trapped in the blast radius. He moved at speeds that turned him into a blur even to security cameras, grabbing a Rhodian businessman from a collapsing office, snatching a human child from beneath falling debris, pulling an injured stormtrooper from his crushed gun emplacement. In 12 seconds, Goku evacuated 47 people from the blast zone, depositing them in a safe plaza 2 blocks away. The civilians stared at their savior, this strange man in an orange guy, barely winded, who just moved faster than their eyes could track. "Everyone okay?" Goku asked, quickly checking for injuries. An elderly Ithorian nodded weakly, and Goku helped him sit against a fountain. "Stay here. I'll make sure there's no one else." He was about to return to the blast site when a new presence appeared. Multiple presences, actually. Goku turned to see ships descending, but these were different from the Imperial craft. Blockade runners, light freighters, starfighters with distinctive markings, and from the lead ship, a Corellian corvette, figures emerged wearing orange flight suits and carrying blaster rifles. Rebel Alliance soldiers. Their commander, a scarred Duros with tactical implants over one eye, approached cautiously, weapon lowered but ready. Behind him, Goku could sense dozens more fighters taking up defensive positions. Through a translator droid, the commander's words became understandable. "Stand down, friend. We're not your enemy." The Duros gestured to the evacuated civilians. "You just saved these people from an Imperial munitions explosion. That makes you either incredibly brave or incredibly stupid." "Little bit of both, probably," Goku admitted with a grin, scratching the back of his head. "I didn't mean to blow up that building. I was just fighting that lady with the laser sword." "Inquisitor," the Duros corrected grimly. "You fought an Imperial Inquisitor and survived. More than that, you won." He studied Goku with new respect and calculation. "My name is Crix Madine, Alliance Special Forces. We've been operating on Lothal for months, and in 5 minutes you've done more damage to the Imperial occupation than we've managed in half a year." Goku sensed something in the commander's tone, hope mixed with desperation. These people were fighting something much bigger than themselves, outgunned and outmatched, but fighting anyway. He respected that, but he also sensed the calculation, the way soldiers looked at a weapon they wanted to acquire. "Look," Goku said carefully, "I don't really know what's going on here. I'm kinda lost. But I can tell you guys are in some kind of war. And those Imperial people..." He gestured to the unconscious stormtroopers. "They were hurting innocent folks. I can't stand by when people are getting hurt." Madine's expression shifted to something approaching reverence. "Then you understand our cause. The Galactic Empire oppresses trillions across thousands of worlds. The Rebel Alliance fights to restore freedom to the galaxy." He extended a hand. "We could use someone with your abilities, someone who can stand against Inquisitors, against the Emperor's enforcers." Before Goku could respond, alarms shrieked across the city. In the sky above, the clouds parted as something massive descended through the atmosphere. An Imperial Star Destroyer, its dagger-shaped hull blotting out the twin suns, turbolaser batteries already rotating toward the surface. And standing on its bridge, Darth Vader watched through the viewport, his respirator breathing steady and cold as he gazed at the impossible warrior below. "Bring me that man," Vader commanded. "Alive, if possible. Dead will suffice." The Imperial Star Destroyer, relentless, hung in Lothal's sky like a mechanical moon, its shadow swallowing entire city districts. Goku stared up at the massive vessel with genuine amazement, his Saiyan instincts simultaneously awed by its size and disappointed that it wasn't alive. He couldn't fight a spaceship, not really. But the presence inside it, the one radiating cold, controlled power unlike anything else in this galaxy. That was interesting. "That's not good," Medine muttered, his tactical implants feeding him data streams. A Star Destroyer deploying directly over a civilian center means they're not concerned about collateral damage. They want something specific. His eyes cut to Goku. They want you. Me? But I just got here, Goku protested, then paused. Wait, that big scary presence on that ship. He's really strong, isn't he? Stronger than that lady with the spinny laser sword? If you're sensing Darth Vader, then yes. Medine's voice dropped to something approaching religious dread. The Emperor's enforcer, the Dark Lord of the Sith. He's killed more Jedi than anyone in galactic history, if he's here personally. The commander grabbed Goku's shoulder urgently. We need to evacuate you immediately. Our transport can punch through. Nah, I'm good. Goku gently removed Medine's hand, his smile never wavering. If he's that strong, I want to fight him. It's been forever since I've had a real challenge. You want to fight Vader? Medine's tactical composure shattered. Listen to me carefully. Vader isn't just powerful, he's inevitable. He doesn't lose. He doesn't stop. The Force itself bends to his will. You might have defeated an Inquisitor, but Vader is... The sky screamed. 20 Imperial TIE fighters dropped from the Star Destroyer's belly, screaming toward the plaza in attack formation. Behind them, troop transport ships descended, carrying what Goku's enhanced vision counted as at least 200 stormtroopers, plus larger armored vehicles with massive cannons. All rebel personnel fall back to extraction point Gamma, Medine barked into his comlink, then looked at Goku with something between pity and respect. If you won't run, at least buy us time to get these civilians out. Can you do that? Easy. Goku dropped into his fighting stance, watching the TIE fighters approach. You guys get everyone safe. I'll handle the flying death machines. Medine wanted to argue, wanted to explain that one person couldn't hold off an entire Imperial assault force, but the rebel commander had survived this long by recognizing when reality defied tactical logic. He'd just watched this stranger catch a lightsaber with his bare hands. Maybe impossible was relative. May the Force be with you, Medine said, then sprinted toward the Corvette where his team was loading civilians. Goku barely heard him. His focus narrowed to the approaching TIE fighters, their laser cannons already glowing green with charging energy. 20 ships, 20 different angles of attack. The pilots were coordinating through linked targeting systems, preparing to saturate the entire plaza with enough firepower to level a small moon. They fired simultaneously. 200 laser bolts converged on Goku's position, each one capable of vaporizing a meter-thick blast door. The plaza erupted in a hellstorm of emerald destruction, ferrocrete vaporizing, metal melting, the shockwave shattering windows 5 blocks away. The bombardment continued for 30 seconds straight, enough ordnance to destroy a Corvette-class starship. When the smoke cleared, the plaza was gone. In its place, a glass-lined crater glowed with residual heat, and in the center, untouched, stood Goku. His ki aura shimmered around him like a golden shield, flickering with raw power that made nearby sensor equipment short out from the energy readings. Okay, Goku said, cracking his neck. My turn. He kicked off the ground, and the crater exploded from the force. Goku became a golden streak across the sky, closing the distance to the nearest TIE fighter in a fraction of a second. The pilot barely had time to register the impossible radar contact before Goku grabbed the fighter's wing and spun, using the craft as a club to smash into its neighbor. Both TIE fighters crumpled like paper, spiraling toward the empty industrial district, where they crashed harmlessly. The remaining 18 fighters scattered, pilots screaming warnings to each other that went unheeded. Goku was already among them. He moved through the formation like a shark through a school of fish, each touch destroying stabilizers, each kick sending fighters tumbling out of control. He wasn't killing the pilots. His enhanced senses tracked their life forces, and he made sure each disabled craft had time to eject its occupant before it crashed. But to the Empire watching from the Star Destroyer above, it looked like wholesale slaughter. "Target has neutralized TIE Squadron in 42 seconds, an Imperial officer reported, his voice cracking. "Deploying ATSTs and heavy infantry." On the bridge, Darth Vader watched through the viewport with absolute stillness. His respirator's breathing was the only sound as the Dark Lord studied this anomaly that the Force could not touch, could not sense, could not predict. Every Force user in the galaxy appeared to Vader as a flame in the darkness, bright or dim depending on their power. This warrior was neither flame nor darkness. He simply wasn't there, an absence where something undeniably was. "Lord Vader," the Star Destroyer's captain ventured carefully. "Shall we commence orbital bombardment? The target is isolated in Sector J7. Acceptable civilian casualties would be..." Vader's hand twitched. The captain's words choked off as invisible fingers crushed his throat. The officer clawed at his neck, gasping, until Vader released him with a dismissive gesture. "I will handle this personally," Vader declared. "No orbital strikes, no further air support." His mask turned toward the view screen showing Goku dismantling the last TIE fighter. "Ready my shuttle, and summon the purge troopers. I want the target cornered and contained when I arrive." "Yes, Lord Vader," the officers chorused, relief and terror mixing in their voices. Below, Goku landed in front of the approaching ATSTs, two-legged walker assault vehicles, each standing 12 meters tall, bristling with laser cannons and concussion grenade launchers. The lead walker's pilot locked onto him immediately, firing a full salvo at point-blank range. Goku caught the concussion grenades in mid-air, juggling them like a street performer. "These are like the ones Bulma makes, but less explodey." He looked up at the walker's cockpit. "Hey, you guys shouldn't shoot at people. It's not nice." The ATST pilot responded by firing both laser cannons directly at Goku's face. The lasers impacted, energy dissipating against Goku's ki-reinforced skin. He didn't even blink. Then his expression shifted, not angry, but disappointed, like a teacher whose student had failed to learn a simple lesson. "Okay," Goku sighed. "I tried to be nice." He jumped, a casual hop that launched him 20 meters straight up. At the apex, he kicked, a simple front kick with maybe 1% of his actual strength. His foot connected with the ATST's cockpit. The entire walker crumpled backward, metal shrieking, legs buckling, the massive war machine folding in on itself like tin foil. The pilot ejected safely, but his vehicle was scrap. The second ATST pilot immediately powered down and raised the walker's manipulator arms in surrender. "Smart choice," Goku called out cheerfully, landing. Then he felt it, that massive presence from the Star Destroyer now descending. Close, very close. His cyan blood surged with anticipation. A Lambda-class shuttle broke through the clouds, escorted by 6 crimson-armored purge troopers on speeder bikes. The shuttle landed with mechanical precision, its boarding ramp extending. Steam hissed from the hydraulics. And then he emerged. Darth Vader descended the ramp, black cape billowing, red lightsaber igniting with a snap hiss that echoed across the ruined plaza. Behind his mask, he studied the warrior who had single-handedly crippled an Imperial assault force. "You are an anomaly." Vader's voice echoed through his vocabulator, deep and inexorable as a black hole. "The Force does not acknowledge your existence, yet you exist. This paradox ends now." Goku's grin widened, his entire body practically vibrating with excitement. "You're the one, the really strong guy. I could feel your power from way down here." He dropped into a fighting stance. "I'm Son Goku from Earth. Let's have a good fight." Vader raised his lightsaber. "You will submit, or you will die." The ruined plaza fell silent, except for Vader's mechanical breathing and the hum of his crimson lightsaber. The purge troopers fanned out in a tactical formation, their electrostaffs crackling with energy designed to disable force-sensitive targets. Goku barely registered them, his entire focus locked onto the towering figure in black, the sheer weight of his presence unlike anything he'd encountered in this galaxy. "You feel different from everyone else here," Goku observed, bouncing lightly on his feet. "Colder, heavier, like you're carrying something really, really dark inside you." Vader's mask tilted slightly, an almost imperceptible acknowledgement. "You perceive what others cannot." Curious. He extended his left hand, and the force surged outward. An invisible wave of telekinetic power that had crushed AT-ATs and torn starfighters from the sky. Goku felt the air pressure change, felt something trying to grab him, squeeze him, break him. It was similar to what the woman with the spinning sword had attempted, but magnified 100 times. The ferrocrete beneath his feet cracked and crumbled from the force's intensity. Debris around him compressed into powder. But Goku himself remained standing, completely unaffected, head tilted in confusion. "There it is again. That weird tickling pressure thing." Goku scratched his head. "What are you guys doing? Some kind of invisible push?" Behind his mask, Vader's eyes narrowed. Impossible. He'd just exerted enough force power to collapse a building, focused entirely on one target. The anomaly should be a broken corpse. Instead, he stood there confused, as if Vader had done nothing more than blow air at him. "Purge troopers," Vader commanded coldly. "Subdue the target." The 6 elite soldiers moved in perfect synchronization, a formation designed to overwhelm even the most skilled Jedi. Electrostaffs struck from multiple angles, high, low, sweeping, each weapon crackling with enough voltage to incapacitate a Wookiee. Their armor was Beskar weave, designed to resist lightsaber strikes. Their training had claimed the lives of 36 Jedi survivors. Goku weaved through their attacks like water, his body moving on pure instinct. A staff swept toward his head. He ducked. 2 more thrust at his midsection. He twisted between them. A 4th aimed for his legs. He hopped over it, landing on the staff itself and balancing there like a gymnast, while the purge trooper struggled to comprehend how someone was standing on his weapon. "You guys are way better than those white armor soldiers," Goku said encouragingly. "Actually coordinating and stuff." He tapped each purge trooper on the shoulder in rapid succession. Friendly pats that nonetheless sent each warrior flying backward, their armor clanking as they tumbled across the plaza. Non-lethal, controlled, precise. Goku had pulled each strike to exactly the force needed to disable without permanent injury. Vader watched this display with calculating intensity. The anomaly moved with combat mastery that rivaled the greatest Jedi duelists. Yet, his style was completely foreign. No lightsaber forms, no force augmentation, just pure physical capability that defied the galaxy's known limits. And most disturbing of all, he held back. Even against Vader's elite forces, the warrior was restraining himself. "You possess power," Vader acknowledged, pacing in a slow circle around Goku. "But power without understanding is meaningless. You do not comprehend the forces arrayed against you. The Empire spans 1,000,000 worlds. The Emperor's reach extends to every corner of this galaxy. You cannot stand alone against such might." "I'm not really trying to stand against anything," Goku replied honestly. "I just got here. I don't even know how I'm gonna get home yet." He perked up suddenly. "Hey, do you guys have someone who's really good with dimensional travel? Or maybe someone who knows about—" Vader attacked. The Dark Lord moved with force-augmented speed, closing the 15-meter gap in a blur of black. His lightsaber came down in a classic Gem-So power strike, designed to cleave opponents from shoulder to hip. The plasma blade, capable of cutting through Durasteel blast doors, struck Goku's raised forearm and stopped, Sparks showered from the point of contact where lightsaber met Kai-reinforced flesh. Goku's arm glowed with a thin golden aura, his energy creating a barrier the lightsaber couldn't penetrate. The heat was intense. Goku could feel it, like holding his hand over a furnace, but not damaging. He looked at where the legendary weapon pressed against his skin with fascination. "Your laser sword is way hotter than that lady's," Goku observed. "And you're putting a lot more force behind it. I can feel your strength." Vader pressed harder, channeling the force through his body to augment his physical might. The lightsaber shrieked against Goku's aura, energy crackling. The ground beneath both fighters cracked from the pressure. But Goku's arm didn't budge, didn't burn, didn't yield. With his free hand, Vader unleashed force lightning, blue-white electricity arcing from his fingertips, the concentrated dark side power that had ended countless lives. The lightning struck Goku's chest, electricity dancing across his orange gi, crackling through his hair. Goku's body tensed, his teeth clenching. "Okay, that one actually hurt. That's like electricity, right? I'm not great with..." He vanished. Vader's sensors screamed warnings a microsecond too late. Goku reappeared behind him, fist already in motion. The punch connected with Vader's back, and the Dark Lord rocketed forward, his armored body tearing through a collapsed building wall, through the ferrocrete barrier beyond it, finally crashing through an abandoned warehouse 100 meters away. Goku winced, shaking his hand. "Oops, that was too hard. I'm still figuring out power levels here. Everyone's so different." He called out toward the dust cloud. "Hey, you okay? I didn't mean to hit you that hard." The warehouse exploded outward. Vader emerged from the debris cloud, cape tattered, armor scorched, but very much functional. His respirators breathing came faster now, not from damage, but from something Vader hadn't felt in years. He was being challenged. "You struck me," Vader stated, his voice carrying a note of dark appreciation. "No Jedi has accomplished that feat in a decade. You are indeed formidable." Vader raised both hands, and the entire ruined plaza began to shake. Chunks of ferrocrete, destroyed TIE fighter parts, disabled AT-ST components, debris from 20 demolished buildings, all of it rose into the air, hovering in defiance of gravity. Hundreds of tons of material, each piece a potential projectile, all controlled by Vader's will through the Force. "But formidable is insufficient against mastery," Vader declared. The debris storm launched at Goku from every angle simultaneously, a three-dimensional cage of destruction moving at supersonic speeds. Metal shards, durasteel beams, ferrocrete chunks, all spinning and twisting in patterns designed to give no escape route. This was the attack that had buried entire rebel companies alive. Goku's aura flared brighter, golden energy surrounding him like a star. "All right, now we're getting somewhere." He thrust his hands forward. "Kai!" A shockwave of pure ki energy exploded outward, invisible but devastating. Vader's debris storm disintegrated, literally vaporized by the concentrated force. The shockwave continued past the destroyed material, rippling across the plaza, shattering already broken windows, sending the unconscious purge troopers tumbling. Vader himself was pushed backward, his boots carving trenches in the ground as he fought to maintain position. When the energy dissipated, Vader stood his ground, but his armor showed new stress fractures. His cape was gone, burned away, and for the first time in his long, dark existence, Darth Vader felt something he thought had died with Anakin Skywalker on Mustafar: uncertainty. "What are you?" Vader demanded, his vocabulary unable to mask the genuine confusion in his tone. Goku smiled, but it wasn't mocking. It was excited, pure, the smile of someone who'd finally found a worthy challenge. "I told you, I'm Son Goku, and I think you might be the strongest person I've met in this galaxy." His expression grew more serious, his aura intensifying. "Which means I can actually try a little bit." His hair flickered. just for a moment, from black to gold. Vader's danger instincts, honed through decades of combat, screamed at him. Whatever power the anomaly had just displayed, it was only a fraction of his true capability. The realization was as sobering as it was infuriating. High above, aboard the Star Destroyer Relentless, sensors recorded energy readings that shouldn't exist. Officers stared at their displays in disbelief as the numbers climbed beyond anything in their databases. And on the dead moon of Yun, thousands of light years away, Emperor Palpatine's eyes snapped open in his meditation chamber. Through the Force, he felt nothing, but that absence itself told him everything. Something had entered his galaxy that the dark side could not predict, could not control, could not corrupt. For the first time in decades, the Emperor smiled with genuine interest. "At last," Palpatine whispered, a variable even I did not foresee. Goku's hair flickered gold again, just for a heartbeat before settling back to black. He was testing the waters, seeing how much power this mysterious opponent could handle. Vader recognized the gesture for what it was, a predator assessing whether its prey was worth the full hunt. Except in this scenario, Vader was uncertain which of them was the predator. "You restrain yourself," Vader observed, his lightsaber still ignited, casting crimson shadows across his damaged armor. "Why? Pride? Arrogance?" "Nah, nothing like that," Goku replied cheerfully. "It's just, if I go all out right away, the fight ends too fast. Where's the fun in that? Plus," his expression grew more thoughtful, "I can tell you're not really a bad guy. Not completely. There's something sad inside you. Heavy, like you're carrying a whole bunch of regret." Vader's respirator hitched, the closest thing to a sharp intake of breath his damaged lungs could manage. This stranger, this anomaly, had perceived in moments what decades of Imperial officers, Inquisitors, and even the Emperor himself had learned to ignore. The remnants of Anakin Skywalker, buried deep beneath layers of hate and mechanical augmentation. "You know nothing of what I carry," Vader said, his voice dropping to something dangerous and cold. "And your mercy is misplaced. I will dissect you, study you, and deliver your remains to the Emperor. This is inevitable." "See, everyone keeps telling me things are inevitable." Goku scratched his head. "But I've stopped a lot of inevitable stuff back home. Evil emperors, planet destroyers, literal gods." He dropped back into his stance, energy crackling around his fists. "So, how about we just see what happens?" Vader didn't respond with words. Instead, he reached out through the Force with surgical precision, targeting not Goku, but the environment around him. The ground beneath Goku's feet suddenly liquefied as Vader manipulated the molecular bonds in the ferrocrete, turning solid ground into quicksand. Simultaneously, the walls of surrounding buildings groaned and collapsed inward, tons of material falling to bury the anomaly alive. Goku simply jumped, launching himself 50 meters straight up with casual ease, the collapsing buildings missing him entirely. He hovered there, suspended in midair without any visible means of propulsion, and waved down at Vader. "That's a neat trick. You can control stuff without touching it," Goku called down. "But you're gonna have to be more direct if you want to beat me." Vader's tactical mind worked furiously. Flight without technology. Energy projection that bypassed physical law. Immunity to both force powers and energy weapons. Physical durability that exceeded anything in Imperial records. This wasn't just a powerful opponent. This was something that invalidated the fundamental rules of engagement that governed galactic combat. A normal strategist would retreat, report findings, develop countermeasures. But Darth Vader hadn't become the Emperor's fist by being normal. And beneath the mask, beneath the machine, the ghost of Anakin Skywalker, the greatest pilot, the chosen one, the warrior who'd led clone battalions to impossible victories, hungered for this challenge. Vader deactivated his lightsaber and raised both hands toward the sky. Across Capital City, every piece of metal not bolted down began to shake. Speeder bikes rose from parking lots. Construction equipment tore free from building sites. The destroyed TIE fighters, all 20 of them, lifted from their crash sites. Even the fallen AT-ST chassis groaned upward, dragged by invisible threads of force power. "You cannot touch what you cannot reach," Vader declared. The metal storm converged on Goku from every direction, hundreds of tons of material, all moving at terminal velocity, controlled by one of the most powerful force users in galactic history. The sound alone was deafening, like 1,000 starship engines firing simultaneously. Goku grinned wider. "Now we're talking!" He became a golden blur, weaving through the metal projectiles with such speed that he left afterimages in his wake. A speeder bike came at his head. He ducked. TIE fighter debris swept toward his legs. He flipped over it. A massive AT-ST leg tried to crush him from above. He caught it, spun in midair, and threw it back at Vader with enough force to create a sonic boom. Vader deflected the returning projectile with a force push, but the effort required was substantial. This anomaly wasn't just avoiding attacks. He was turning them into counterattacks, using Vader's own assault against him. It was like fighting a reflection that somehow hit harder than the original. "You are enjoying this," Vader accused, and there was something in his tone. Not quite anger, but perhaps recognition. "You fight not for survival, but for sport." "Well, yeah." Goku descended back to ground level, landing lightly despite the chaos around them. "Fighting's fun. It's how I learn, how I grow. Every strong opponent teaches me something new." His expression grew more earnest. "You're super strong with that invisible push-pull power. I respect that. But you're holding back too, aren't you? I can tell." Vader remained silent for a moment, his respirator the only sound. The anomaly was right. Vader was conserving power, testing, analyzing. But not from caution, from habit. Years of effortlessly dominating opponents had made efficiency second nature. This stranger was forcing him to recalculate. "Lord Vader!" A transmission crackled through his helmet comm. "We're receiving urgent orders from the Emperor himself. You are to..." "Silence," Vader commanded, severing the connection. His attention remained fixed on Goku. The Emperor's orders could wait. This required his full focus. Before Vader could attack again, new contacts appeared on his helmet sensors. 3 rebel corvettes broke through the cloud cover, their weapons hot, their approach vectors aggressive. The Rebel Alliance, emboldened by Goku's display, had decided to strike while Imperial forces were divided. "All Imperial units, engage Rebel fleet!" Orders barked across military channels. The Star Destroyer, relentless above, rotated ponderously, its turbo-laser batteries tracking the new threats. Goku's head snapped toward the approaching battle, his senses detecting the energy signatures of the ship's weapons charging. "Wait, are more people about to fight?" He looked between Vader and the sky, clearly torn. "But we were just getting started." "The galaxy does not pause for your entertainment, anomaly," Vader said, but there was something in his tone. Frustration, disappointment. "My forces will destroy those rebel ships, and you will..." "Those are the good guys who were helping people earlier," Goku interrupted, his playful demeanor shifting to something more serious. "The ones getting civilians to safety." He looked at Vader intently. "You're not gonna hurt them, are you? They are enemies of the Empire. Their destruction is..." Yeah, inevitable, I heard." Goku sighed. Then his expression hardened in a way that made even Vader's danger instincts pulse. "Sorry, but I can't let you blow up people who are helping innocents. That's not how I do things." Vader's lightsaber ignited again. "Then you have chosen your side. How predictable." I haven't chosen anything except not letting people die, Goku protested. Why's everything gotta be about sides? Can't you just... A turbo laser lance from the Star Destroyer screamed down toward the lead rebel corvette. The capital-grade weapon, powerful enough to crack a moon, would vaporize the ship and its 200 crew members in an instant. Goku moved. One moment, he stood facing Vader. The next, he was 3 kilometers away, positioned directly between the corvette and the incoming turbo laser blast. His hands came together, ki energy pooling between his palms with enough intensity to make nearby sensors explode from the readings. Kame! Energy spiraled, building, crackling with power that bent light around it. Haim! The turbo laser struck him dead on. The emerald energy beam, designed to reduce warships to atoms, washed over Goku's position. For a brief moment, Capital City was painted in sickly green light, as enough destructive energy to destroy a small fleet, concentrated on one point. When the beam dissipated, Goku floated there, completely unharmed, his hands still positioned for his technique. His GI was singed, smoking slightly, but his skin showed no damage. He looked down at himself in surprise. Okay, that one was strong, actually made me feel something. He grinned, then his expression grew fierce. But if you're shooting at people trying to do the right thing? His aura exploded outward, golden energy cascading off him in waves that made the very air shimmer. His hair flickered between black and gold more rapidly now, his power climbing as he prepared to truly engage. Then I'm gonna have to stop you for real. Above, aboard the Relentless, every sensor went haywire. Officers shouted over each other, their instruments unable to calculate the energy readings emanating from the anomaly. Some displays simply showed error where numbers should be. And on the bridge, staring down at the golden light show below, a junior officer whispered what everyone was thinking. What have we awakened? Goku's aura blazed like a miniature sun over Capital City, golden energy rippling outward in waves that caused nearby electronics to spark and fail. The 3 rebel corvettes, still accelerating toward combat, suddenly found their targeting systems overwhelmed by readings that shouldn't exist. Aboard the lead ship, Commander Medine stared at his scanner display in disbelief. Sir, the energy signature coming from that anomaly, it's reading higher than our ship's entire reactor output, his sensor officer reported, voice cracking, and it's still climbing. All ships, break off attack vector, Medine ordered. Get those civilians we evacuated out of the combat zone, now. The corvettes banked hard, their ion engines flaring as they retreated toward the upper atmosphere. Goku watched them go with satisfaction. Good, they were getting to safety. That meant he could focus on the real problem. He looked up at the Star Destroyer, its massive hull blotting out the sky, turbo laser batteries rotating to track him. Then he looked down at Vader, still standing in the ruined plaza, his damaged armor reflecting the golden light of Goku's aura. I'm gonna give you a choice, Goku called down, his voice carrying absolute conviction. Call off your attack on those ships, or I'm gonna have to wreck that big space triangle you flew in on. I really don't want to destroy it. Probably got a lot of people inside just following orders, but I won't let you hurt people who are trying to help innocents. Vader's respirator hissed steadily as he processed this ultimatum. The anomaly had just tanked a capital-grade turbo laser, a weapon that could reduce cities to glass, and treated it like an inconvenience. His threat to destroy an Imperial Star Destroyer wasn't bravado. It was a statement of fact delivered with almost childlike sincerity. You believe you can destroy a Star Destroyer alone, Vader said, not quite a question. Your arrogance knows no bounds. It's not arrogance if I can actually do it, Goku replied matter-of-factly. I've blown up way bigger stuff than that. Heck, I once punched through a guy who was destroying entire universes. That ship's pretty cool, but it's just a ship. Through his helmet's comm system, Vader heard panicked chatter from the Relentless. Targeting anomaly with all forward batteries. Energy readings exceeding maximum scale. Requesting permission to execute maximum firepower protocols. Vader made a decision that went against every Imperial doctrine. All Star Destroyer forces hold fire. Do not engage the anomaly. But Lord Vader, our orders from High Command are superseded by my orders. Vader's voice carried the weight of absolute authority. Maintain position. Observe only. The channel went silent, except for reluctant acknowledgements. Vader had just countermanded a military assault for the first time in recent memory, and every officer aboard the Relentless knew it. Vader turned his masked gaze back to Goku, still hovering in that impossible golden aura. You have your ceasefire, anomaly, but understand this. You have merely delayed inevitability. The Empire's reach is infinite. You cannot protect everyone, everywhere, and when you fail... Vader's fist clenched. I will be there. Goku's aura dimmed slightly, his hair settling back to black as the immediate threat passed. You know, you keep talking about this Empire like it's the most important thing in the galaxy, but from what I've seen, it's just a bunch of people with fancy weapons bullying regular folks who can't fight back. He floated down, landing across from Vader again. Where I come from, we had guys like that. Frieza. He ruled whole chunks of space, had armies, destroyed planets just because he could. Everyone thought he was inevitable too. And yet he is not here, Vader observed. I presume you killed him. Me and my friends stopped him, yeah. And the next guy. And the guy after that. Goku's expression grew more serious. The thing about bullies is they're only scary until someone stands up to them. Then they're just guys. Strong guys, sure, but still just guys who can be beaten. For a long moment, Vader said nothing. The mechanical breathing was the only sound in the ruined plaza. Then, unexpectedly, he deactivated his lightsaber. You are not from this galaxy, Vader stated. Your power operates on principles foreign to the Force. Your very existence defies the natural order we understand. He took a single step forward. Tell me, how did you arrive here? Goku blinked, surprised by the sudden shift from combat to conversation. Honestly, accident. I was training with my teacher Weiss. He's an angel, long story, and we kinda broke reality. There was this dimensional tier thing and I fell through and now I'm here. He scratched his head sheepishly. I've been trying to figure out how to get home, but everything here is so different. The energy you guys use, the way your ships work, even the way people fight, it's all totally new to me. And yet, you interfere in our affairs, Vader said coldly. You assault Imperial forces, defend rebel operatives, disrupt the established order. For someone who claims to be lost, you have strong opinions about our galaxy's politics. I don't care about politics, Goku protested. I saw soldiers threatening a family because they needed medicine for their kid. That's wrong no matter what galaxy you're in. Then they tried to blow me up, so I defended myself. Then you showed up wanting to fight, which was actually pretty fun. And then your guys tried to shoot those people who were helping civilians. He threw his hands up. I'm not trying to start a war or whatever. I just can't stand watching strong people pick on weak people. It's not right. Vader remained silent, his mask inscrutable. But inside his fortress of machinery and scar tissue, something stirred. The anomaly's words, simple, direct, infuriatingly naive, echoed with a philosophy Vader had once held. Before Padme, before Mustafar, before the mask, before he had become more machine than man. Your moral certainty is a luxury afforded by ignorance, Vader finally said. You understand nothing of the chaos that necessitated the Empire's rise, the corruption of the Old Republic, the devastating Clone Wars, the betrayal of the Jedi Order. His fist clenched. Order requires strength. Peace requires fear. This is the reality you are too foolish to comprehend. Maybe, Goku admitted with unexpected humility. I don't know your history, don't know what happened to make things this way, but I do know that beating people into submission and calling it peace isn't real peace. It's just waiting for the next fight. He looked directly at Vader's mask, as if trying to see through to the man beneath. And I can tell you don't really believe it either. Not completely. There's still something good in you. I can feel it. Vader's hand twitched toward his lightsaber, an instinctive reaction to words that cut too close to truths he'd buried. You perceive nothing. I am beyond redemption, beyond... A new transmission crackled through Vader's helmet, this one encoded with Imperial priority codes that even he could not ignore. The voice that spoke carried the weight of absolute authority, dry and ancient and terrible. Lord Vader, bring me this anomaly, alive. I wish to meet him. Emperor Palpatine. The transmission ended, but its implications hung in the air like a death sentence. Goku, lacking any context for who had just spoken, simply tilted his head curiously. "Friend of yours?" he asked. "The Emperor," Vader said quietly, "has taken personal interest in you. This is not a gift, it is a curse." He reignited his lightsaber, but the stance he assumed was different, defensive, almost protective. "If you possess any survival instinct whatsoever, you will flee this galaxy, now, before he arrives." "Why? What's so scary about this Emperor guy?" Goku asked genuinely. "Is he stronger than you?" "In ways that matter most," Vader admitted with something approaching bitterness. "He sees all, manipulates all. The dark side of the Force flows through him like a living ocean. Where I am a weapon, he is the hand that wields it." Vader's mask turned skyward, toward the stars. "And now you have drawn his attention. The Emperor does not simply destroy his enemies. He corrupts them, breaks them, remakes them into tools for his grand design." Goku's expression grew more serious, finally understanding the gravity of what he was hearing. "Sounds like Dabura, or maybe Babidi, evil wizards who turned people into their servants." His fists clenched. "Those kinds of guys are the worst. They don't just hurt people, they twist them, make them into things they're not." "Then you comprehend," Vader said, "why you must leave. I will report to the Emperor that you escaped, that—" "Nah," Goku interrupted with a grin that was equal parts excitement and determination. "If this Emperor guy is as bad as you say, then I definitely need to meet him. Can't have people going around corrupting others and twisting them into weapons." His Saiyan battle instinct surged. "Plus, if he's stronger than you, that means he'll be a real challenge. I've been looking for someone who could push me." Vader stared at the anomaly, this impossible warrior who treated galactic tyrants like training partners, and for the first time in decades, Darth Vader felt something he'd thought long dead. Concern for someone other than himself. 3 days passed. 3 days during which Goku, through a combination of broken Imperial communications equipment and helpful rebel translators, finally learned the galactic language. 3 days during which the Rebel Alliance debated furiously about what to do with their unexpected ally. And 3 days during which Emperor Palpatine prepared his arrival at Lothal with meticulous, terrible patience. Goku spent most of that time in the rebel base hidden in Lothal's ancient ruins, eating approximately 3 months' worth of their food supplies, and asking questions that ranged from insightful to baffling. He learned about the Empire's oppression, the Death Star's destruction, the desperate state of the rebellion. He also learned that lightsabers were apparently not toys, after accidentally cutting through 3 support beams while practicing. "You ate an entire week's protein rations in 1 sitting," Commander Medine said, reviewing inventory reports with a mixture of horror and fascination. Our entire garrison's supplies. How is that even biologically possible? I'm a scion, Goku explained cheerfully, as if that answered everything. We need a lot of food to maintain our energy. Plus, training makes me extra hungry, and I've been practicing that ki control thing, trying to teach some of your people how to sense energy. It's not going great though. You guys feel energy so differently here. Medine rubbed his temples. The last 3 days had been educational in ways the Rebel Academy never covered. This Goku had demonstrated abilities that defied every known science. Flight, energy projection, sensing life forces across kilometers, and most impressively, teaching a young pilot named Wedge Antilles to sense ki well enough to predict an opponent's attack a split second early, a skill that could revolutionize starfighter combat. The point is, Medine continued, bringing the conversation back on track, we've received intelligence that the Emperor himself is en route to Lothal, not an Inquisitor, not Vader, the Emperor. He leaned forward intensely. Goku, you need to understand, Palpatine is the most dangerous being in the known galaxy. He orchestrated the Clone Wars, manipulated the entire Galactic Senate, destroyed the Jedi Order, and turned the Republic into his personal empire, all while hiding his true nature from thousands of Force-sensitive Jedi. Yeah, Vader mentioned he was tricky. Goku nodded. Some kind of evil wizard who corrupts people and turns them into weapons, right? Sith Lord, corrected a tactical officer. Master of the dark side. He can kill with a thought, see the future, manipulate minds, and shoot lightning from his hands that can disintegrate living beings. Goku perked up. Oh, like that electricity attack Vader used. That actually hurt a bit. He grinned. If the Emperor is even stronger with that technique, this'll be interesting. The entire room stared at him in disbelief. Medine finally found his voice. You want to fight the Emperor, the being who orchestrated the deaths of billions, who commands the largest military force in galactic history, who killed Master Yoda's entire order. He paused. You want to fight him? Well, yeah, Goku said as if it were obvious. He sounds really strong. Plus, he's doing all that evil stuff you mentioned. Killing people, corrupting them, ruling through fear. Someone's got to stop him, right? Might as well be me. Goku, Medine said slowly, carefully. The Rebel Alliance has been fighting the Empire for years. We've lost thousands of brave soldiers. We barely managed to destroy one Death Star, and they're already building another. The Emperor is the source of all that darkness, and if we could kill him, we would have already tried. He locked eyes with the Scion. This isn't like your sparring matches with Vader. If Palpatine sees you as a threat, he won't just attack you. He'll destroy everyone you've interacted with, this entire base, every civilian you've saved. He rules through terror, and making examples of those who defy him is how he maintains control. For the first time since arriving in this galaxy, Goku's expression turned completely serious. The playful warrior vanished, replaced by someone who'd faced universal threats and protected countless lives. Then I'll make sure he can't hurt anyone else. That's what I do. I protect people from guys who think might makes right. Before Medine could argue further, alarms shrieked through the base. A sensor officer's voice cracked over the comm. Imperial fleet dropping out of hyperspace. Multiple star destroyers, but the lead vessel it's the Eclipse, the Emperor's personal superstar destroyer. Through the base's main viewport, the sky darkened, not from clouds, but from the shadow of a vessel so massive it defied comprehension. The Eclipse was 3 times the size of a normal star destroyer, its hull black as the void between stars, bristling with enough firepower to reduce a planet's surface to molten glass. And aboard that vessel, in a throne room decorated with Sith artifacts and the suffering of thousands, Emperor Palpatine smiled. At last, the Emperor whispered, his ancient voice dripping with anticipation. A being outside the Force's influence, a variable I did not foresee. How delicious. He rose from his throne, his black robes flowing like liquid shadow. Ready my shuttle. I shall meet this anomaly personally. And Lord Vader. Palpatine's yellow eyes gleamed with malevolent amusement. You will accompany me. I wish to see how your new friend reacts when confronted with true power. Vader, standing at attention beside the throne, bowed stiffly. As you command, my master. But inside his mask, behind layers of machinery and burned flesh, Anakin Skywalker's ghost stirred with something uncomfortably close to dread. On Lothal's surface, Goku stepped out of the rebel base, looking up at the massive vessel that made the Star Destroyer from 3 days ago look like a toy. His Scion instincts screamed at him, not in fear, but in recognition. That ship contained the presence he'd been sensing, the cold, calculating darkness that made Vader's energy feel almost warm by comparison. Everyone stay inside, Goku said to Medine and the rebels who'd followed him out. I don't know what's about to happen, but I don't want you guys getting caught in the middle of it. Goku, you can't face him alone, a young Twi'lek pilot protested, one of the families he'd saved 3 days ago. After everything you've done for us. That's exactly why I'm doing this alone, Goku interrupted gently. You guys have families, people who need you. I'm just passing through. And besides, his grin returned, fierce and confident. I'm really good at this kind of thing. A Lambda-class shuttle descended from the eclipse, flanked by 6 TIE defenders, the Empire's most advanced starfighters. But Goku's attention fixed on the shuttle itself, specifically on the presence within it. 2 presences, actually. One, he recognized, Vader's cold, heavy energy. The other was different, ancient, calculating, and suffused with a darkness so profound it felt like staring into the heart of a black hole. The shuttle landed on the plains outside the rebel base. Its ramp extended with mechanical precision, steam hissing from hydraulics. Darth Vader emerged first, his damaged armor repaired, his cape pristine once more. He took position at the left side of the ramp, standing at attention like a guard dog. Then he appeared. Emperor Palpatine descended the ramp slowly, deliberately, savoring every moment. He was shorter than Vader, hunched with age, his face hidden within the deep hood of his black robes. But the sheer presence he radiated made height irrelevant. The air itself seemed to grow colder, heavier, as if reality bent around him in submission. Goku felt it immediately. This wasn't just power. It was corruption made manifest. Every step the Emperor took seemed to drain light from the surrounding area. Plants withered slightly where his shadow touched. The Force itself screamed in his wake, twisted and perverted into something unnatural. So, Palpatine's voice drifted across the plain, dry and ancient and terrible. You are the anomaly that has caused such disruption to my empire. Yellow eyes gleamed from within his hood, studying Goku with the intensity of a scientist examining a fascinating specimen. Come closer, young one. Let me see what you truly are. Goku took a step forward, his instincts screaming warnings, his Saiyan blood recognizing a predator even more dangerous than Frieza. You're the Emperor, right? The guy everyone's so scared of? I am Emperor Palpatine, master of the Galactic Empire, heir to the Sith legacy, and the dark side of the Force made flesh. Palpatine spread his arms in a gesture of false welcome. And you, my curious visitor, are something that should not exist. A being beyond the Force's reach. How unprecedented. Lightning crackled briefly between Palpatine's fingers. Not an attack, just a casual display of power. Tell me, do you know what happens to things that defy the natural order? Goku's expression hardened. Where I come from, natural order is usually code for I'm in charge and you should obey. and I've got a lot of experience dealing with guys like you." Emperor Palpatine's smile widened, revealing teeth that seemed too sharp, too wrong. "Oh, my dear boy, you have no idea what you're dealing with." The dark side of the Force exploded outward. The dark side of the Force erupted from Emperor Palpatine like a tidal wave of pure malevolence. It wasn't a physical attack, not yet, but a manifestation of concentrated evil so profound that reality itself seemed to recoil. The ground beneath his feet blackened and cracked. The air shimmered with heat that had nothing to do with temperature and everything to do with the presence of something fundamentally wrong. Goku felt it wash over him like cold oil, trying to seep into his mind, his heart, his very soul. This was different from Vader's attacks. Vader had tried to crush him physically, to overpower him with telekinetic force. The Emperor was trying something far more insidious. He was trying to corrupt him, to find the darkness in Goku's heart and amplify it until it consumed everything else. For anyone else, it would have worked. The dark side was insidious, seductive, offering power through anger and fear. But Goku's heart was pure, not innocent, not naive, but genuinely, fundamentally pure. He'd faced gods of destruction, resisted mind control from the universe's strongest sorcerers, and rejected temptations that would break lesser beings. The Emperor's corruption found nothing to take root in. "Huh," Goku said, tilting his head as the dark side assault washed over him ineffectually. "That feels sticky. Like you're trying to make me angry or scared, but it's not really working. Is that what you meant by corruption?" Palpatine's smile froze. For the first time in decades, the Emperor experienced something he'd nearly forgotten: surprise. He'd just unleashed enough dark side energy to drive a Jedi Master mad, to fill their hearts with rage and despair until they fell screaming into darkness. This stranger had described it as sticky, fascinating. Palpatine whispered, his tone shifting from theatrical menace to genuine scientific interest. "You truly are beyond the Force's influence, not resistant, immune. Your presence is an absence, a void where the Force simply does not exist." His yellow eyes gleamed brighter. "Lord Vader was correct to summon me. You are either the greatest threat to the Sith or the greatest opportunity." "I'm neither," Goku replied firmly. "I'm just trying to find a way home. But I can't ignore what you're doing to this galaxy. Hurting people, ruling through fear, turning good people into weapons like you did with Vader." At the mention of his name, Vader shifted almost imperceptibly. Palpatine noticed. "Did Vader tell you he was good before I corrupted him?" Palpatine's laugh was like nails on Durasteel. "Oh, my young anomaly, you understand nothing. Anakin Skywalker murdered children, Jedi younglings, long before I completed his transformation. He slaughtered entire villages in rage. He fell to the dark side through his own choices, his own weaknesses." The Emperor's voice dropped to a poisonous whisper. "I simply showed him what he truly was, beneath the Jedi's self-righteous lies." Goku looked at Vader, really looked at him, his energy-sensing abilities reading the turmoil roiling beneath that mechanical exterior. "Is that true?" Vader's respirator hissed for 3 long breaths before he responded. "Yes, I killed them. I burned the Jedi Temple. I betrayed everyone who trusted me." His vocabulary couldn't convey emotion, but something in his posture suggested shame. "The Emperor showed me power, purpose, a way to prevent death itself, and I took it willingly." "To save someone you loved, right?" Goku asked quietly. "That's usually how these things go. The bad guys find someone who's desperate, who'll do anything to protect what matters to them, and they twist that love into something dark." Palpatine's eyes narrowed. "You perceive more than expected. Yes, Anakin sought to save his wife from death. The Jedi would have told him to let go, to accept her fate. I offered him the power to defy fate itself. He made his choice. And did it work? Goku asked. Did you save her? Vader's silence was answer enough. Palpatine's smile returned, cruel and satisfied. She died anyway. Fitting, wouldn't you say? Love is the greatest weakness, the pathway to the most exquisite suffering. And from that suffering, I forged the perfect weapon. Something in Goku's expression changed. The playful warrior, the excited fighter seeking strong opponents, vanished. What replaced it was the protector who'd faced universe-destroying gods, the one who'd challenged Beerus to save Earth, who'd risked erasure itself to protect his friends and family. You're just a bully, Goku said quietly, his voice carrying absolute conviction. A really, really powerful bully who gets off on hurting people and making them hurt each other. I've fought your type before. Frieza, Cell, Majin Buu. They all thought they were special, that their power made them right. His fists clenched, and the air around him began to shimmer. It didn't, and neither are you. Palpatine's theatrical demeanor dropped entirely, replaced by cold, calculating malice. Bold words from someone who has no conception of my power. The dark side of the Force is infinite, eternal. I have studied its secrets for longer than you have been alive. I have toppled republics, destroyed orders, bent the galaxy itself to my will. He raised both hands, lightning crackling between his fingers. You are immune to the Force? Fascinating, but let us see how you handle its manifestations. Force lightning erupted from Palpatine's hands. Not the warning shot Vader had used, but a torrent of blue-white electricity that could reduce Durasteel to vapor. The lightning forked and multiplied, becoming a storm of electrical death that lit up the entire plane with actinic light. The Emperor wasn't just attacking Goku. He was attacking everything around him, turning a 100-meter radius into an electrical hellscape. Goku's aura flared, his ki forming a barrier around his body. The Force lightning struck the barrier and stopped. Not dissipated, stopped, as if encountering something it fundamentally could not penetrate. Energy crackled and sparked where two impossible powers met, neither able to overcome the other. Your turn's over, Goku said, his voice calm despite the maelstrom around him. Now it's mine. His hair began to spike upward, black shifting toward blonde. His aura intensified, golden energy cascading off him in waves. The ground beneath his feet cracked and cratered from the sheer pressure of his power. This wasn't the restrained Goku who'd played with stormtroopers or sparred casually with Vader. This was Super Saiyan Goku. The transformation completed in an instant. Hair golden and spiky, eyes turquoise, aura blazing like a star. The Force itself recoiled from his presence, unable to comprehend or predict this energy. Palpatine's lightning was blown backward, dissipating before it could reconnect. I've been holding back this whole time, Goku said, his voice carrying a resonance that hadn't been there before. Trying to figure out this galaxy, meet new people, maybe make some friends. But you? His eyes locked onto Palpatine with absolute focus. You're everything I've spent my life fighting against, and I'm done playing nice. Palpatine stared at the Golden Warrior, his ancient mind calculating, analyzing. The anomaly's power had just increased 50-fold. The energy readings were astronomical, equivalent to multiple Star Destroyer reactors operating at critical mass, all contained in one biological form. And from Palpatine's expression, Goku could tell the Emperor was realizing something important. He'd miscalculated. Impressive, Palpatine admitted, his tone shifting to wary respect. You possess transformation abilities beyond Sith alchemy, but power alone does not. Goku vanished. One moment he stood 20 meters away. The next, his fist was inches from Palpatine's face, moving at speeds that made his previous displays look sluggish. The Emperor barely managed to raise a force barrier, the invisible shield manifesting just in time to catch the punch. The shockwave from the impact was visible, a sphere of displaced air that exploded outward, shattering the ground for 50 meters in every direction. Palpatine's force barrier held, but the Emperor was driven backward, his feet carving trenches in the earth as he fought to maintain position. "You're fast," Goku acknowledged, pulling back his fist. "And that invisible shield is tougher than I expected. Good. This won't be boring after all." Palpatine's eyes blazed with yellow fire. "You dare strike at the Emperor? I am the darkness itself, the culmination of 1,000 years of Sith legacy." His hands spread wide, and the Force surged. "I will show you true power." The earth itself began to crack and heave. Massive chunks of rock tore free, levitating at Palpatine's command. The eclipse above adjusted its position, preparing to fire. TIE defenders screamed through the sky, targeting locks active. Vader ignited his lightsaber, torn between duty and something else, something that whispered that maybe, just maybe, this was the moment everything could change. And in the midst of it all, Goku grinned, the fierce, joyful grin of a scion about to face his greatest challenge yet. "All right then," Goku said, dropping into his stance. "Let's see what you've really got, Emperor." The battle erupted with apocalyptic fury. Palpatine unleashed the full might of the dark side, not the theatrical displays he used to intimidate senators or execute Jedi, but the raw, unbridled power of a Sith master who'd spent decades perfecting his craft. Force lightning arced in geometric patterns, creating a web of electrical death. Massive boulders hurtled through the air at supersonic speeds. The ground itself liquefied and then froze into spikes, trying to impale Goku from below. The very atmosphere screamed with dark side energy. Goku weaved through it all with Super Saiyan speed, his golden form leaving afterimages as he dodged, blocked, and countered. A boulder the size of a house came at his head. He punched through it, reducing it to gravel. Force lightning converged from 6 angles. His ki aura deflected it harmlessly. Spikes erupted beneath his feet. He simply flew higher, laughing with pure combat joy. "You're good, really good," Goku called out, genuine admiration in his voice. "But you're still trying to hit me with the same kinds of attacks. Switch it up." Palpatine's expression twisted with rage. This anomaly was treating a battle with the Emperor of the Galaxy like a sparring session. "You mock me? I have destroyed civilizations, ended bloodlines, reshaped the galaxy itself." "Yeah, and that's all pretty terrible," Goku admitted, his expression growing more serious even as he continued dodging attacks. "But bragging about hurting people doesn't make you strong. It just makes you cruel." He caught another lightning bolt in his bare hand, the electricity crackling harmlessly against his kai. "Real strength is about protecting people, not crushing them." The Emperor's eyes blazed with fury. He thrust both hands forward, and the force attack shifted. Instead of trying to harm Goku directly, Palpatine targeted the rebel base behind him. Invisible pressure slammed into the ancient ruins, stone walls beginning to crack and crumble. Inside, Goku could sense the life forces of Medine, the Twi'lek family he'd saved, and dozens of other rebels. No! Goku's playfulness evaporated instantly. He spun mid-air, extending both hands toward the base. "Ki!" A shockwave of Kai energy exploded from his palms, creating a protective barrier between Palpatine's force attack and the rebel base. The two energies collided, dark side corruption meeting pure Kai, and the resulting explosion of displaced power created a crater 50 meters wide exactly between them. But the distraction cost Goku. Palpatine's hands moved in complex patterns, and suddenly the air around Goku solidified. Not physically. The Force was creating a pressure cage, compressing space itself into a crushing vice. It was a technique Palpatine had used to kill Grand Master Yoda's apprentices, folding them into impossibly small spaces until their bodies simply collapsed. Goku felt the pressure from all sides, trying to crush him into a singularity. For a normal being, it would have been instant death. For Goku, it was uncomfortable. His aura flared brighter, golden energy pushing outward against the force cage. The pressure intensified. Goku's muscles strained, his teeth gritting. Then he roared, "Ha!" The force cage shattered like glass, fragments of dark side energy dissipating into nothing. Goku rocketed forward, closing the distance between himself and Palpatine in a microsecond. His fist drove toward the Emperor's chest, a strike that could shatter planets if delivered at full power, but calibrated to merely incapacitate. Palpatine's eyes widened. He couldn't dodge. Goku was too fast. He couldn't block with the Force. The anomaly's energy bypassed it entirely. So the Emperor did something he hadn't done in decades. He moved. Ancient Sith augmentation flooded through Palpatine's aged body, dark side power temporarily reversing decades of physical decay. The Emperor twisted with impossible agility, Goku's fist passing millimeters from his ribs. Palpatine's hands came up, and at point-blank range, he unleashed Force lightning directly into Goku's face. The electricity struck at full intensity, enough raw power to reduce a Star Destroyer's bridge crew to ash. Goku's head snapped back, his body convulsing as billions of volts coursed through him. His aura flickered. For a moment, Palpatine thought he'd won. Then Goku's eyes opened, blazing turquoise, and he grinned through the pain. "Okay," Goku said, his voice strained but determined. "That one actually hurts. You're the first person in this galaxy who can actually damage me." Despite the lightning cooking his nervous system, despite pain that would kill any other being, Goku's expression showed something terrifying. Excitement. Finally, a real challenge. His hand shot forward, grabbing Palpatine's wrist, the one projecting lightning. The Emperor's eyes widened as he felt Goku's grip, impossibly strong, interrupting the flow of dark side energy. Then Goku's other hand grabbed Palpatine's other wrist, stopping the lightning entirely. "My turn," Goku said. He headbutted the Emperor. The impact was carefully controlled, maybe 5% of Goku's actual strength, but it was still equivalent to being struck by a small starship. Palpatine flew backward, his Force-augmented body tumbling across the battlefield, crashing through rock formations before finally arresting his momentum with the Force. The Emperor rose slowly, and for the first time in his long, dark life, blood trickled from his nose. "Impossible," Palpatine whispered, touching the blood with disbelief. "I am the dark side incarnate. I cannot be wounded by mere physical." Goku appeared in front of him again, fist cocked back. "You talk too much." The punch connected with Palpatine's hastily raised Force barrier. The barrier held for exactly 0.3 seconds before shattering. The punch continued through, striking the Emperor's chest and launching him skyward. Goku pursued, moving faster than the eye could track, appearing above Palpatine's ascending form. Both hands clasped together, Goku brought them down in a hammer blow that sent the Emperor cratering into the ground below. The impact created a shockwave that rippled across the entire plane, visible from orbit. Aboard the Eclipse, officers stared at their sensors in horror as they registered the impossible. Their Emperor, the most powerful being in the galaxy, was losing. From the crater, Palpatine rose, his robes tattered, his face bloodied, but his eyes burning with something beyond rage. This was wounded pride mixed with genuine fear. You dare." "I dare," Goku confirmed, floating down to ground level. "Because someone has to. You've been hurting people for so long, everyone's too scared to stand up to you. But I'm not from here. I don't know all your history or your politics or your Force stuff." His expression hardened with absolute conviction. "I just know you're evil, and evil needs to be stopped." Palpatine's lips curled into a rictus grin, blood staining his teeth. "Then you will die with that conviction." He thrust his hands skyward, and the Force surged upward toward the eclipse. "If I cannot corrupt you, cannot kill you with the Force, then I will bury you beneath the weight of an entire Star Destroyer." Above, the massive Superstar Destroyer's engines cut out. Officers screamed as gravity took hold of the 3-kilometer vessel. The eclipse began falling toward the planet's surface, directly toward Goku's position. 19 million tons of durasteel and death accelerating downward. Goku looked up at the falling capital ship, his expression shifting from battle focus to genuine concern. "There are people on that ship, thousands of them." He shot an accusatory glare at Palpatine. "You'd kill your own people just to get to me?" "They serve the Empire," Palpatine said coldly. "Their deaths serve the Empire. All that matters is victory." Goku's aura exploded to maximum intensity, golden energy cascading off him in waves that made the air itself ignite. "Then I'll just have to save them and beat you." He rocketed upward, accelerating to speeds that tore the ground apart from the shockwave. Within 2 seconds, he reached the falling eclipse, positioning himself beneath its massive bulk. His hands pressed against the durasteel hull, and he pushed. The Superstar Destroyer's fall arrested instantly, as if it had struck an invisible wall. 19 million tons of mass, accelerating at terminal velocity, stopped dead because one being pushed back harder than gravity could pull. Goku's entire body strained, his muscles burning, his ki flaring like a miniature sun as he single-handedly held up a capital ship. "Get the engines back online," Goku shouted through gritted teeth, hoping someone inside could hear him. Aboard the bridge, officers stared at their view screens in absolute shock. Sensors showed the impossible, a humanoid life form holding up their entire vessel. The captain, recovering from shock, barked orders. "Emergency engine restart, now!" The engines roared back to life, ion drives firing at full power. Slowly, with Goku still supporting most of the weight, the eclipse began ascending back to stable orbit. Once the ship was safely climbing, Goku released his grip and dropped back toward the surface. Palpatine stood waiting, his expression unreadable. "You saved them, my servants, my soldiers, the very people who would execute you on my command." The Emperor's voice carried something new, not respect, but recognition. "You are genuine." "Of course I am," Goku said, landing heavily, his Super Saiyan form flickering slightly from the exertion. "I don't let people die just because they're on the wrong side. They're still people." For a long moment, Emperor Palpatine stared at this anomaly, this impossible warrior who treated galactic conflicts like moral absolutes. Then he began to laugh, not his theatrical cackle, but something genuine and deeply disturbed. "You cannot exist in my galaxy," Palpatine declared. "You are too pure, too good. You will unravel everything I have built simply by existing." His yellow eyes blazed. "Therefore you must be destroyed, utterly, completely, even if I must sacrifice everything to do it." The Emperor raised both hands, and the dark side of the Force erupted in a maelstrom of destruction that made everything before look like a warm-up. The final clash had begun. Emperor Palpatine unleashed hell itself. The dark side erupted from him in a physical wave, a tsunami of corruption and hatred that blackened the ground, withered plant life, and made the air itself scream. This wasn't technique or strategy. This was the Emperor pouring every ounce of his power into one overwhelming assault. Force lightning didn't arc in controlled streams, but exploded outward in a sphere of electrical annihilation. The ground tore itself apart, massive fissures opening as tectonic plates shifted under his will. The sky darkened as if the planet itself recoiled from the concentrated evil. And at the center of it all stood Goku, his Super Saiyan aura blazing defiance against the darkness. "Kaioken!" Goku's voice cut through the chaos. His golden aura suddenly flared crimson at the edges, a technique he hadn't used in years, multiplying his already godlike power. The Super Saiyan and Kaioken combination was dangerous, pushing his body beyond safe limits. But this situation demanded everything he had. His aura intensified until it became difficult to look at directly. Golden and red energy mixing into something that registered on sensors across half the planet. The two energies collided, dark side corruption meeting pure ki amplified beyond reason. The resulting explosion carved a crater 300 meters wide and 50 meters deep. Shockwaves rippled outward, shattering windows in capital city 20 kilometers away. The rebel base's shields strained to maximum, trying to protect those inside. Through the maelstrom, Goku moved, not dodging now, but pushing forward, advancing step by step against the full might of the Emperor's power. Each step took monumental effort. Each meter gained required more ki than destroying a planet. But Goku had learned long ago that the hardest battles were won through determination, not just strength. "You cannot advance!" Palpatine shrieked, disbelief cracking his composure. He was pouring enough dark side energy to destroy a fleet, to reduce a city to atoms, and this anomaly was walking through it. "I am inevitable. I am eternal. You're scared," Goku said, close enough now that Palpatine could see his eyes, not angry, not hateful, but filled with absolute certainty. "You're terrified that everything you've built can be torn down by someone who just won't give up. Someone who protects people instead of crushing them." Goku's hand shot forward, faster than Palpatine could react, and grabbed the Emperor by the throat. Not crushing, not killing, but holding. The dark side maelstrom dissipated instantly as Palpatine's concentration shattered. "You've hurt so many people," Goku said quietly, lifting the Emperor slightly off the ground. "Turned them into weapons, made them suffer, all because you wanted power and control." His grip tightened marginally. "That ends now." Palpatine's hands came up, force lightning crackling weakly against Goku's face at point-blank range. But the Saiyan's Kaioken-enhanced body barely registered the damage. The Emperor's eyes, always so calculating and confident, now showed something he'd spent decades making others feel: true, primal fear. "Lord Vader!" Palpatine's voice cracked with desperation. "Kill him now! That is a direct order from your Emperor." 30 meters away, Darth Vader stood motionless, lightsaber still ignited, but held at his side. Behind his mask, Anakin Skywalker watched as the being who'd enslaved him, manipulated him, twisted him into a weapon for decades, dangled helplessly in the grip of someone who represented everything the Jedi had once stood for, but without their failures, their rigidity, their dogma. Goku, sensing Vader's presence, turned his head slightly. "You don't have to follow his orders anymore. You're stronger than you think. I can feel it. There's still good in you, just buried under all that pain and guilt." "I am beyond redemption," Vader said, but his voice carried uncertainty. "Nobody's beyond redemption," Goku replied firmly. "I've fought alongside people who've done terrible things. One of my best friends killed thousands before he changed. My teacher's brother tried to conquer Earth. Even my wife tried to kill me when we first met." He smiled slightly. "People can change if they choose to. You just have to want it." Palpatine's laughter was desperate now, edged with madness. "Vader will never betray me. He is mine, body, mind, and soul. I made him. Vader's lightsaber deactivated. The sound of it powering down cut through Palpatine's rant like a blade. The Emperor's yellow eyes widened in disbelief as his greatest weapon, his perfect apprentice, stood down. "No," Vader said simply. "You did not make me. You broke me, twisted me, used me." His mask turned toward Goku. "But he is right. I have a choice. Palpatine's expression transformed from fear to apoplectic rage. You dare? After everything I gave you, power, purpose, I saved you from... You saved nothing, Vader interrupted, his voice carrying more emotion than it had in years. You took a broken man and made him a monster. But this anomaly, this warrior from beyond our stars... He looked at Goku directly. He shows me what I could have been, should have been. A protector, not a destroyer. Goku sensed something shifting in Vader, the heavy darkness that surrounded him lightening ever so slightly. It wasn't redemption, not yet, but it was the first step. The choice to stop, to question, to consider another path. How touching, Palpatine spat. Then his expression shifted to something terrible and cunning. But you forget, I always have contingencies. The Emperor's hand moved in a complex gesture, and Vader suddenly convulsed. His respirator shrieked, his mechanical limbs locking up, his entire body seizing. Goku realized with horror what was happening. Palpatine had built kill switches into Vader's armor, fail-safes to punish disobedience. Kill switches in his life support system, Palpatine explained with vicious satisfaction, even as Goku held him. Betray me, and he dies. Drop me, and he dies. Kill me. The Emperor's smile was pure malevolence. And he dies. Goku's eyes widened. This was beyond cruel. It was evil refined to its purest form. Making Vader a prisoner not just of the dark side, but of his own mechanical body, ensuring loyalty through the threat of death. His grip on Palpatine's throat tightened involuntarily. Careful, Palpatine wheezed. Kill me in anger, and you prove we are not so different after all. Goku forced himself to breathe, to calm down, to think. He looked at Vader, still convulsing, and then back at Palpatine. His Saiyan instincts screamed to just end this, to crush the Emperor and be done with it. But that wasn't who he was. That wasn't what he fought for. You're right, Goku said quietly, and Palpatine's smile widened until Goku continued. We're not different in one way. We both do whatever it takes to protect what matters. His free hand extended toward Vader. But the difference is what matters to us. Golden Ki energy flowed from Goku's outstretched hand, not as an attack, but as something else. The energy wrapped around Vader's form, and Goku's enhanced senses, honed through decades of sensing energy, life force, and intention, mapped every circuit, every wire, every electronic component in Vader's armor. His ki couldn't interact with the Force, but it could interact with technology. Release him, Palpatine gasped. In a second, Goku said, concentrating. His ki pulsed, and inside Vader's armor the kill switches suddenly overloaded from energy feedback, not destroyed but temporarily disabled. Vader's respirator stabilized, his limbs unlocked. He collapsed to one knee, but he was alive. There, Goku said. Now he can choose without you holding a gun to his head. Palpatine stared in absolute disbelief. That's impossible. You cannot manipulate technology with... Kai can do a lot of things, Goku interrupted. I had a friend named Android 16 back home. Taught me how to sense mechanical systems, how to interact with them using energy. It's tricky, but... He shrugged. I've had a lot of practice. The Emperor's expression shifted through several emotions, rage, fear, disbelief, before settling on cold calculation. Very well. You have freed Vader from his leash. You have defeated me in combat. You have even resisted corruption. His yellow eyes gleamed with terrible intelligence. But answer me this, anomaly. Can you kill me? Goku's expression grew troubled. I don't want to kill anyone. Precisely. Palpatine's voice took on a lecturing tone despite his position. You are powerful beyond measure, pure beyond reason, but you lack the will to do what is necessary. Release me, and I will rebuild. I will hunt everyone you have touched. I will make examples of the rebels who sheltered you, and there is nothing you can do to stop me without becoming the very thing you claim to oppose, a killer. The awful truth of it hung in the air. Goku had the power to end Palpatine, but doing so went against everything he believed in. He'd always given enemies chances to change, to surrender, to choose better paths. But Palpatine was different. He was evil, distilled and refined, with no intention of ever choosing differently. You face the hero's dilemma, Palpatine continued, sensing advantage. Spare me, and I continue my reign of terror. Kill me, and you abandon your principles. There is no victory here for you. Only... A crimson lightsaber blade erupted through Palpatine's chest. The Emperor's eyes widened in shock as he looked down at the plasma blade protruding from his sternum. Behind him, Darth Vader stood, his lightsaber extended, his respirator breathing steady and calm. "You are wrong, Master," Vader said quietly. "There is a third option." He twisted the blade. "I choose to end this. Not him. Me." Palpatine's mouth worked soundlessly as dark side energy began leaking from the wound, his carefully maintained body finally failing. "Vader, my apprentice, you were supposed to... I was supposed to be your weapon," Vader finished. "But he gestured toward Goku, reminded me I am still a man, and men can choose. Emperor Palpatine, Dark Lord of the Sith, architect of the Galactic Empire, corrupter of the Chosen One, died with a look of utter disbelief on his ancient face. His body collapsed as Vader withdrew the blade, dark side energy dissipating into nothing. For a moment, the battlefield was silent except for Vader's respirator and Goku's heavy breathing as he powered down from Super Saiyan, his hair fading back to black. "You killed him," Goku said quietly. "I did," Vader confirmed. "The choice I should have made decades ago. The choice I was too weak, too broken, too lost to make." His mask turned toward Goku. "You showed me it was possible, that there was still something worth choosing." Goku smiled, tired but genuine. "That's all anyone can do. Make better choices going forward." He extended his hand. "So what now? You gonna keep being the bad guy, or you gonna try something new?" Vader stared at the offered hand for a long moment. Then, slowly, he reached out and clasped it. The grip was mechanical, cold, but the gesture was distinctly human. "I do not know," Vader admitted, "but I will try." Above them, the Eclipse hung in uncertain orbit, its crew awaiting orders that would never come. Across the galaxy, Imperial commanders would soon receive news of the Emperor's death, and the power vacuum would spark conflicts that would reshape civilizations. But in that moment, on a battlefield scarred by impossible power, two warriors from different worlds shared a moment of understanding. And somewhere in the Force, the ghosts of Jedi long dead felt a disturbance. Not dark, not light, but something entirely new. The possibility of change. The news of Emperor Palpatine's death spread across the galaxy like wildfire through a dry forest. Within hours, Imperial commanders received fragmented reports of an impossible battle on Lothal, a golden warrior from beyond the stars, and the Emperor's final moments at the hand of his own apprentice. Within days, the Empire began to fracture as regional governors, grand admirals, and ambitious Moffs carved out their own territories, each claiming to be the true successor to Palpatine's throne. The Rebel Alliance, emboldened by the tyrant's fall, launched coordinated strikes across 100 systems. Worlds that had suffered under Imperial oppression rose up, their people finally daring to hope that freedom was possible. The second Death Star, still under construction above Endor, became a contested battleground as Imperial remnants fought to maintain control of their ultimate weapon. But for Goku, the galaxy's political upheaval was secondary to a more personal mission: getting home. He spent 2 weeks on Lothal, working with rebel engineers, scientists, and even a few defecting Imperial researchers who were fascinated by his energy manipulation abilities. They studied the dimensional tear that had brought him to their galaxy, trying to understand the physics behind it. Goku, in turn, taught willing students the basics of key control, not enough to match his power, but enough to enhance their physical capabilities, sharpen their instincts, and sense danger before it struck. Wedge Antilles became his star pupil, the young pilot's natural talent allowing him to sense enemy attacks a split second before they came. "This is going to revolutionize starfighter combat," Wedge said after successfully dodging simulated blaster fire while blindfolded. "If we can teach this to the entire Alliance fleet, just remember," Goku cautioned with a smile, "power is only good if you use it to protect people. I've seen what happens when strong fighters forget that. Don't let it go to your heads." Darth Vader, though many still called him that out of habit, underwent a different transformation. With Palpatine dead and the kill switches in his armor disabled by Goku's energy manipulation, he was free for the first time in decades. He didn't join the rebellion, not exactly, but he also didn't continue serving the Empire. Instead, he existed in a strange middle ground, offering tactical intelligence to the rebels while seeking out Imperial war criminals who'd committed atrocities in the Emperor's name. "I have much to atone for," Vader told Goku during one of their final conversations. "More deaths than I can count, more suffering than I can ever repair. Palpatine's death does not absolve me of my sins." "No," Goku agreed, "but it's a start. You made a choice when it mattered most. That counts for something." He clapped Vader on his armored shoulder. "And hey, if you ever figure out how to get to my universe, look me up. I'd love to have a rematch when you're not serving an evil space wizard." Behind his mask, Anakin Skywalker almost smiled. The breakthrough came on the 13th day. A brilliant Mon Calamari physicist named Sarkhan discovered that Goku's ki energy, when channeled through modified hyperdrive crystals, could theoretically create a stable dimensional bridge. It would only remain open for a few seconds, and there was no guarantee it would lead to Goku's home universe, but it was the best chance they had. "The energy requirements are astronomical," Sarkhan explained, showing Goku complex calculations on a data pad. "We'd need to channel the equivalent of a small star's output through these crystals to pierce dimensional barriers. No power source in the galaxy can generate that much energy in one burst." Goku grinned. "Good thing I'm not from this galaxy then. How much power do you need?" When Sarkhan showed him the numbers, Goku just nodded. "Yeah, I can do that. Easy." The farewell gathering took place in the rebuilt section of Capital City. Hundreds of people Goku had saved, rebels he'd trained, and even a few former stormtroopers who'd defected after witnessing his mercy came to see him off. The Twi'lek family, whose daughter he'd saved on his first day, presented him with a hand-woven sash, traditional in their culture for honoring protectors. "You changed everything," Commander Medine said, shaking Goku's hand. "The Empire was supposed to be eternal. The Emperor was supposed to be invincible. And you showed us that nothing is inevitable if you're willing to fight for what's right." "You guys would have figured it out eventually," Goku replied modestly. "I just sped things up a little. Besides, you're the ones who have to build something better now. That's way harder than punching bad guys." Wedge stepped forward, executing a perfect ki-sensing demonstration that made Goku beam with pride. "We won't forget what you taught us. Any of it. The fighting techniques, the philosophy, all of it." "Good. And remember, always protect your friends, never give up, and eat a good breakfast." Goku's smile was infectious. "Those 3 rules will get you through just about anything." As the sun set over Lothal, Goku stood in the center of a massive array of hyperdrive crystals, arranged in a circular pattern. Rebel technicians made final adjustments, while Sarkhan monitored energy readings with barely contained excitement. Vader watched from a distance, his imposing figure silhouetted against the twin suns. "Ready when you are," Sarkhan called out. Goku closed his eyes, centering himself, feeling his Kai flow through his body. Then he began to power up, not to Super Saiyan, but channeling his energy in a controlled, sustained output. Golden aura flared around him, and the hyperdrive crystals began to glow, humming with resonant frequency as they absorbed his power. The air itself began to tear, reality bending and warping as dimensional barriers weakened. A rift opened above the crystal array, small at first, then widening, revealing a swirling vortex of colors that hurt to look at directly. Through the rift, Goku could sense something familiar, something that felt like home. "That's it!" Goku shouted over the roaring wind. "I can feel Earth on the other side. It worked." He turned to face the gathered crowd one last time, raising his hand in farewell. "Thanks for everything. Take care of each other. And if you ever need help again," he grinned, "well, I probably won't hear you from another dimension. But good luck anyway." With that, Son Goku leaped into the rift, his form dissolving into golden light as he crossed between realities. The dimensional tear collapsed behind him with a thunderclap that echoed across the plains, and he was gone. For a moment, the assembled crowd stood in silence, processing the departure of the warrior who'd changed their galaxy forever. Then, slowly, they began to disperse, returning to the monumental task of rebuilding a civilization. Vader remained longest, staring at the spot where the rift had been. Through the Force, now flowing more clearly through him than it had in decades, he felt something. Not a presence, but an absence. The anomaly was truly gone, returned to his own reality. And yet, something remained. A lesson, a possibility, a choice that had been made when it mattered most. "May the Force be with you," Vader whispered to the empty air, "wherever you are." He turned and walked toward the setting suns, his shadow stretching long across the battlefield where an empire had fallen, and a man had remembered what it meant to choose. The galaxy would never be the same. The Empire's remnants would fight for decades, the rebellion would struggle to build a new republic. Conflicts would continue, as they always did. But somewhere in the stars, on 1,000 different worlds, people would tell stories of the Golden Warrior who'd fallen from beyond the sky. The one who'd faced the Emperor himself and won. The one who'd reminded even the darkest souls that redemption was possible. They would call him many things: the anomaly, the Golden Warrior, the breaker of chains, the hope from beyond. But his name was Goku. And though he'd returned to his own universe, his impact on the Star Wars galaxy would echo through generations. A reminder that even in the darkest times, a single person choosing to do the right thing could change everything. May the Force be with you. More stories await.